Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. And as we're all familiar, the Indomitus box set has just come out from Games Workshop. And I've spent a lot of time on the Space Marines, but I started looking at the Necrons. And the Indomitus box is $199 retail. So let's say we spent $100 on our Necrons. And when you look at the amount of plastic, there are a lot of models here. And for $100, it makes it a good start collecting buy. So if you find a friend or a sucker and say, hey, take these worthless Space Marines off my hands, I'm going to play these badass living metal monsters here, this is what you get for $100. And we've got some elite choices, some really cool destroyers. I love those models. Some leadership, and a ton of new Necron warrior sculpts with battle damage and little wiry guts hanging out. So this led me to think, this isn't my first rodeo. I've bought plenty of box sets from Games Workshop and never sold off the spare armies. So I remembered, hey, while I'm doing the Necrons from Indomitus, I still have Necrons from Forgebane. So sometimes if you go to your friendly local game store, you'll still find Forgebane boxes out in the wild. So I started looking at it and said, what was a better deal pound for pound for Necrons, Forgebane or Indomitus? Now when the Forgebane box came out, it was $160 retail, and what you got was Cryptek Boss, some Wraiths, big guys right there. I built these guys up to be death marks, and some Lich Guards. So some elite choices, a leader, and some big heavy guys. Whenever you got this box, now I wouldn't split it 50-50 because the real value in this box was the Armiger Knights when they came out. That's what everybody wanted. And they gave you a few Necrons. So you just look at it. I think the Indomitus set is probably the better buy at $100. And you're spending a little bit more, but it's easier to split the box. You got some good value here. So let's take a close look at these guys. Alright, so now let's get our little catwalk here and get some of the special characters from the Indomitus set right here. Let's get all 4 of them. The special leadership guys, top of the heap of the hierarchy, and Forgebane. There he is. Now this was a special model here. I believe this was the only way to get this guy. So there's a little added value and exclusivity. But pound for pound, if you're going to start a Necron force, this is the way to go. However, since I bought them both, I'm pretty happy with this whole arrangement. Now on the elite side, you do get more models with the Forgebane. So I built them up as Lich Guard, you can build them as Mortals, you got some death marks here, but they are not as cool as these destroyers. And their little buddy. I just love the way those guys look. And of course, got the Crypt Thralls in there. And the Reanimator is just so tall. He's hard to get into shot there. But you might get more figures, but the Indomitus box set guys are definitely cooler, in my opinion. Now what else came in the Forgebane were the Wraiths. Now except for the Reanimator, there's no real big guys in the Indomitus box. And even the Reanimator is not as hard hitting as the Wraiths. Now don't quote me on that. I'm not a big Necron player or even a competitive player. But what the Indomitus box set does have is just tons of these little Necrons. Well, these guys took a long time to put together. These guys are fiddly. But all in all, you know what? What I always do, buy them both. That way I just have a wall of little living metal guys to come fight my Space Marines or all comers. So, I hope you enjoyed that little comparison of the Forgebane and Indomitus box. If you do find a Forgebane box in the wild, buy it. It's a good buy. But if you're short on cash, you want to be a little more frugal, the Indomitus box is the way to go. Alright, we'll see you next time.